Welcome back. This is Beyond the Service, and today we're going to be talking about trash talking your apprentice.
Which I like to call don't underestimate the underdog. So the topic of today is we all started somewhere, just like Drake said, started from the bottom, now we're here. So we see a lot of absolutely crazy things happen in the service industry, the trades, where people treat their apprentices and their helpers like complete shit. And I got to tell you, that shit stops right now. You guys have to understand these men and women are there trying their best, trying to learn, and you got to just really give it to them that we all started somewhere and they're there just to learn.
You know what's cool is that Devynn and I pretty much have the same perspective on this, but she sees it from an office perspective. I see it from the field perspective. So I've worked with tons of dudes that will drop off an apprentice, say, dig this trench, and then they go and just mess around.
I see that side too. I see that.
No, I know.
Just because
I'm saying we're agreeing to it.
Well, just because I sit my ass in a chair doesn't mean that I don't see that perspective.
Okay, so this happens day in and day out. These plumbers or what would you call them?
Entry-level employees, entry-level persons.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm saying the lead tech.
The senior employee.
The lead tech, no matter what industry this is in, will just give the crappiest jobs to these apprentices or the laborers. They'll give them the brooms. They won't even show them how to do it the first time, and they'll just talk shit to them, saying they're not doing it right when they have no idea.
Here's the thing. We may be at the top of our business, but I'm not afraid to pick up a broom and clean and do whatever I have to do to help out the team. It's about leadership, and it's just being a good person. You can't be a total piece of shit and treat people like shit, because if you treat people like shit, obviously you hate yourself. There is no reason to be putting these people down when they're there to learn.
Here's what the perspective that I like to give to people, because you have to think about it as like your child getting into a field, and then their employer just totally demeaning them,
treating them like
treating them like crap. They don't even want to go to work. Here's the thing: they're not going to learn a damn thing unless they want to come to work. So you better treat them with respect that they deserve to get their butt here and work hard for you.
Okay.
And the more you teach them, the more valuable they're going to be to you, and the more money they're going to put in your pocket.
I like this finger pointing thing. He's going to tell you guys what is up. So you guys, I see a lot of men and women in the trades constantly bitching and complaining that they can't find good help. They can't find good help. That what's going to happen to our infrastructure because these young people don't want to learn a trade. Maybe it's because when they're super proud to post their first picture of completing maybe a big job, you're so quick to criticize instead of praising them. Maybe it's because you treated them like shit and belittled them to where now they're afraid to push themselves anymore. Let's be real. We all want to be loved and appreciated and supported in whatever it is that they're doing. And if they're not getting that from their support system at work, they're going to find something else to do. They're going to go and start playing video games or doing the YouTube channels that I know you're all bitching about that they're doing. So you guys have to understand that you are driving them out of the trades just because you have a bad freaking attitude.
I would absolutely 100% agree with that.
I'm super passionate about this. And I agree when he said, like, think about it if this was your kid. If this was your son or your daughter and you knew that you had a superior over them that was just making them feel like shit because now you're old and you have to see your chiropractor every day. Like, get over it. Start being a respectable person and give them the love and the support and the gratitude that they really do deserve to do better.
No.
Because
don't get over it. Get over yourself.
Yeah. No, get over yourself. Yeah.
Seriously, you are absolutely not perfect, and you know you're not perfect, and you're being critical on people that have no idea what the heck's going on because you haven't had the patience to give it to them. Now, I do understand most of the time there's occasions we're in a very high stressful environment and we got to get this job done as fast as possible.
But it doesn't mean it's okay.
Give them a task. No, it's not okay. But give them a task that they can accomplish fast for you and that they know that they know how to do it. And at the end of the day, you better set things straight and tell them, you know what, today was a rough day and we had a lot of stuff to do. And you know what? You held up your end of the bargain. You were here with me till the end of the day. You kicked ass. You made a couple mistakes, but so did I throughout the day.
I think
so,
it's time.
Awesome job.
Sorry.
Tomorrow, I hope you show up on time, and you know what? We're gonna kick it in the butt again. Let's do it.
But
you're a team.
If this person makes a mistake, or if they're doing something that's subpar, you don't need to step in and say, "Hey, I would fire you because you're doing this that's not up to my expectations." You have to understand, how would you feel if you were in that other person's position?
You know what's funny is that she just threw that in my face because I've said that before.
And I've gotten so pissed at you.
Yeah, and I'm not.
Like, I've been so infuriated, and I'm like, you can't treat people like that.
I'm going to tell you that I'm not perfect, especially with words.
Neither of us
there.
are perfect.
But I will admit when I'm wrong, and I will backpedal as much as I possibly can and try and correct the situation and be like, look, I should not have talked to you like that, or whatever. I really do apologize. But what I want to do with you is I want to sit down with you and work this out together so that we're all on the same page for the next time. You know, you really have to be supportive. If you want them to show up to work tomorrow, you better put on your face and be the person that they want to work with. And if you're not, then you're going to lose potentially a good employee.
So I want to share a story, and this goes into don't underestimate the underdog. So before John and I started our company, he was plumbing and I was doing dental. So I went into dental entry level, fresh out of school, you know, cleaning alginate trays, cleaning up dirty patient trays and stuff like that. And I was young, but I had my license. I still am actually a registered dental assistant in the state of California. But I was young. I was like 18 years old, and I was working with a lot of older people, and they hated me. I swear, if something was broken, I broke it. Something was missing, I lost it. It was like, no matter what happened, I did it. And at that time, I remember going home and crying and feeling like, what am I doing wrong? I am coming to work every day, trying to do my best, trying to learn, trying to establish a damn career for myself as a young woman. And I kept my mouth shut. I went to work every day. I pushed myself to learn. I pushed myself to keep going through hard times. And by the time I left that company, I was there for 5 years? Mm-hmm. I was managing. I ended up becoming their boss. So what I'm trying to say is you can't underestimate these young people coming into the trades, because they really do want to learn. And if they didn't want to learn, they wouldn't be trying to begin with.
Here's the other hand here. When you come to work, and you make them respect you.
Right.
By
your
work ethic. Yes, you absolutely make them respect you by your work ethic, by you being early, by you staying later than them, by you working harder and more diligently than they expect.
You can't make people respect you. You can force people.
You can blow them away by your work ethic.
By being a respectable person.
By being a respectable person, but also doing your own due diligence by learning stuff when they're not teaching you, or it's not even that time yet. If you're an apprentice in any trade, you need to be doing your homework. There's plenty of videos out there to teach you something, and if you know it before you even come to it, you're gonna blow your teacher's mind out of the water and be like, dude, you knew this? Yeah, and make it a game. Don't give them that knowledge until it's time for you to just jack them up in the head.
You have to go the extra mile.
You have to go the extra mile. You have to put in the time, and you have to do your homework. Just because you're off work, that doesn't mean you're done learning for the day. You got to continue, and especially if this is something that you actually enjoy doing, and this is going to be your hobby. This is going to be your lifetime career. You need to really zero in on what's going to make you happy. And you know what makes me happy is quality of work. So how do I get my quality of work to a higher standard? I practice when I'm off the clock. I practice screwing up. I screw up and I correct myself.
But you learn from your failures.
Yes.
And that's the first step of progressing. Most people look at failures or, disappointments as being like a complete loss. But I can say that we both have failed many, many times. Sometimes not very bad, sometimes royally. And I think that every time something has happened, we've taken a step back and said, I'm so grateful for that.
Right.
Because we learned. And a lot of people are afraid to learn from failures. They think that they only learn from being successful and doing great. No, you learn when you fuck up. That's the truth.
Right. And here's the thing is that, all these kids getting on their video games and doing all these things, be an example for them to want to get out of that.
Yeah.
And if you are creating that positive environment, believe me, they're going to put that shit to the wayside if they see a more valuable situation that they can be attracted to. And the trades, they are attractive. And you know why? Because
the trades are so sexy right now.
It's the teamwork and the relationship building that you're having with these people doing these projects. It's like, I've never been to war, but I would say that it's like a bond that you get created when you go into battle with somebody. And I think that it's really important to push through these rough times on job sites together. And you become closer and you become more bonded. And yeah, but not by talking shit. But I'm saying is push through these things together. And that bond and that love and that family environment and that teamwork is attractive to anybody.
I really wanted to bring up this subject in one of our episodes because I see people writing, John and I both on social media, like, what do you do when you have an apprentice or if you have an entry-level employee that's just not doing their job? It's like the first thing that you need to do is try and figure out what works for them. How do they learn?
Yeah.
Just because you think that they should learn this way doesn't mean that they're going to learn that way. You have to find what works for these people, and that's the best value you can bring into your business.
Just as you parenting, you have to do the same thing. You have to learn how your child is going to listen and absorb this information to grow as a better human being. So that's our job as leaders and lead techs and business owners, but it's also if you are an apprentice and you are a laborer, it's your job to really do your due diligence and try to master things as fast as you possibly can so that you can move up faster in your position and you can help guide the next generation coming in as well.
And if you're not a fast learner, take your time, but communicate openly with your employer. Show up on time, stay late, pick up a damn broom if you see sitting there and something needs to be cleaned. We have amazing employees. I see them doing this all the time.
If they don't, and here's the thing is if your lead tech does not have the patience, if you have multiple techs, ask if you can get trained by somebody else. But if not, if it's not working out, leave. It's perfectly okay to leave if it doesn't fit.
Yeah, sometimes personalities just work, but you have to really say, like, I was respectful, I was patient, I was kind, I was loving, I was supportive. You may not think that you need to be loving to your coworkers. You absolutely need to be a loving person because you need to have empathy and understanding.
Right. But you also have to push through the hard times. When we're looking to hire people, if you have a bad track record where you're jumping from company to company to company, that's a red flag to us.
Pass. So that's going to be another episode.
Absolutely.
We need to wrap it up. I just want to tell you guys, we really love and appreciate all of our viewers, our listeners every week. Don't forget, you guys can check us out on the Mechanical Hub YouTube every single week. And thank you for watching Beyond the Service.